Welcome to Joanna's DIY Life. On this channel, I love to do home decor on a budget. Now, let's get crafty. Y'all, these projects are seriously going to be so quick and so easy. So the first one, I'm using this little mini tobacco basket, and I don't know where I got it. I think I got it at Michael's. I'm not sure. But anyway, I've got the blessed word I know came from Hobby Lobby in a pack. And the only thing that touches is the edges of the ends because, you know, the tobacco basket dents in. So I'm going to put glue there. Then on the back, I am just going to, where I see it touching, reinforce with my hot glue. Then, because I don't want this, you know, seasonal stuck with just Thanksgiving, because I really think the tobacco basket is cute. Whew. So I want this for any season. Not going to glue my flowers in. There's a little hole down there, and I'm just going to poke them through and then cut the end off. That way, for any season, I can just change my flowers out, and there you go. Easy peasy, people. This next one is Dollar Tree pumpkin, a little tag from scrapbook book paper that I had, and then a easel from the Dollar Tree, their ribbon, and a Jenga block, or, you know, mini tumbling tower blocks or whatever. Now, just going to take my wax, and I didn't want that much, but anyways, I'm using a wipe. This is my standard thing, y'all, and I'm just going to go around the whole frame, just bringing the, you know, texture of that wood out, and I'm going to do this around the sides and also on the back. Now I'm just going to take a paper towel and I'm going to wipe all the wax off of the frame itself. And I'm going to take my little finger sander and I'm going to sand a piece off. I just want some of the slick off so that my glue will stick and I know I'm not going to have everything falling apart. Then I just wipe all the dust off. Now I am going to take my little tumbling tower block, and I am going to use super glue, and I'm going to add super glue to my block, and then I'm going to add a little line of hot glue. Hot glue for immediate, and then the super glue for long term. And then I am just going to take hot glue, and I'm not going to use hot glue yet. I'm going to take, I'm going to take the ribbon. I get this from the Dollar Tree. It's burlap ribbon. And I'm just going to cut it up, and then I'm going to pull some shreds out, okay? Then, just, you know, the shredding makes it look a little rustic. You don't want to pull too many because the whole thing will fall apart. Then I'm going to take a little bit of fabric tack. I was going to use hot glue, but I'm going to take fabric tack, and I'm just going to put a little bit of fabric tack on there to add my, you know, burlap down. Now, when I was doing this, that glue was just pouring out. So I'm going to go off camera and clean this up a little bit. That was a mess, y'all. So now I've got my scrapbook paper piece. And I am just going to use fabric tack and pray it don't blow up on me again. And set that right down in the middle. And that is so cute. It adds a little pop of color. And it is just cute. So now I am going to take hot glue and just glue my pumpkin on my Jenga block. Now I am just going to take one of my little mini bows and I'm just going to pop that right down in the center of that pumpkin stem, and that's it. This is so, I don't know, just so simple and so pretty. I absolutely love this on that black background. Now for this one, I'm going to use another chalkboard. I recently found this at the Dollar Tree. And these wood pumpkins come in that set from Walmart. And then I have the blessed word from the Dollar Tree in a pack. I'm going to do the same for this one, and I'm just going to stain the outside of my frame with my Waverly wax and my baby wipe. After I got that stained, then I'm just going to take my orange pumpkin by Waverly, and I'm going to take a wipe, and I'm just going to, just rub over this and paint that. I didn't want to use a brush because I didn't really want it running down the sides. So this was, easy, and I just wanted to make sure it didn't go anywhere else besides on the top. So I'm going to give this one good coat, and that's it. Now I am going to take this pumpkin, and I am going to use E6000. I had the super glue, but I changed to the E6000 because this was just bigger, and I didn't want the super glue to dry too fast before I got this all put together. So I'm just going to add a little bit of E6000, and then where I don't add E6000, I'm just going to add hot glue, and that's just, going to ensure that it's not going to come off, okay? I didn't sand this one down. It didn't seem as slick as the other one. I don't know. Maybe I'm just crazy or tired. I don't know. But anyway, I'm going to center this thing up and push it down. Once I get that in the center, I didn't bother with filling the 2 holes because I'm going to cover that up. I didn't do anything to this pumpkin either because I liked it the way it looked. And I'm just going to add hot glue and put my little word in the middle of my pumpkin. But I'm placing it down some so that the bow doesn't, overlap it and all that junk. So you can take ribbon and make a little bow and put on there. But I didn't want to. But I'm still going to cover up the holes. I'm just going to take raffia. And I am going to tie a little bow with raffia, because what is fall without raffia? I mean, really? You gotta have raffia when you do fall DIYs. So I'm just making a little bow. That's it. I just tied a shoelace bow, and I'm fluffing out the edges, trying to get it even, and then I'm just going to cut my tails. I don't want them real long. I cut them kind of short. And then if there's any, loopies poking out or anything like that, I'm just going to trim it up. Then all I do is take hot glue and just glue that right down in the center and cover up those holes. And there it is. And it, again, is so cute. Now, for this one, I have one of the long boxes. And this is an Art Minds from Michaels. And I believe they're 99 cents or something like that. And then I have 3 different size pumpkins. All these came from the Dollar Tree. 2 were painted last year. This one was not. And I am just going to paint this in ivory. And it takes 2 coats. So I'm going to do that off camera because y'all have seen me paint a bazillion times. When I get that painted, I'm just going to take a really thin brush and I'm going to dip it in the wax lightly and go over this pumpkin just to give it detail like the other 2 pumpkins. It would kind of look, silly up there if it was just stark ivory or stark white or whatever. So I'm just putting the wax on. If I get it too dark, I rub it with my finger and get it right back off. So now after it was painted and dry, I'm just going to pop the stems off the other 2. And I'm going to take this knife when I figure out what side I want. And I'm carefully going to cut these pumpkins in half. And this knife was not working because it wasn't sharp enough. I ended up using a pocket knife, which you'll see later. But anyways, all I'm going to do is cut my pumpkins in half. Thank God for a sharp pocket knife. Good Lord. Now I'm just going to disassemble this because I don't want these on there. It's not going to be hanging from the side anyway. So I'm just going to use my staple remover and I'm going to remove them. And then I'm going to take my screwdriver and just remove that hooky thing, whatever you call it, on the back. There. Now, all I'm going to do is take my hot glue. Now, y'all have to be careful because if your glue gun is real hot, you're going to melt the styrofoam. But I just put a little bit on the back and some on the bottom. Popped it down in there. And I'm going to glue the other two in there. And you want to try to get these as even in the middle as you can. I don't like to measure a lot of stuff, so I'm just eyeballing it, but I do pretty good, if I do say so myself. There's that pocket knife. Now you have to add one of your stems back on, preferably the smallest one since it's the smallest pumpkin. I clipped the end off because there, of course, was no hole, but I had to clip it down flat. So then all I do is just attach it with hot glue. And there it is. So it is cute, ain't it? I love it. So I'm going to take some of this Spanish moss, I think it was. And I'm going to go really fast on this part because all I'm going to do is wad this up in a ball. And I'm going to add hot glue, trim it off, hot glue it in the corners. And then I'm going to start adding some in my pumpkin cracks or pumpkin separations or whatever you want to call it. I'm just going to trim it all up so that it's not poking out everywhere like somebody with bad eyebrows, you know. So, but anyways, I try to wad this up as best I can to get it to hold together. And I'm just gluing and smushing. That's it. Gluing and smushing. Now I have these flowers, but they were too big, but I'm going to use these stems. I always save my stems because you never know. You know, it's times like these, y'all. So I've got these little paper things that I got from Hobby Lobby. And I'm just going to take a stem and I'm going to cut them off, random, and glue them on the back. And then I am going to take the leaves and I'm going to cut little pieces of those and glue them on the stems. Just because, you know, it makes it cuter, fills up space, and sunflowers have leaves. So why not? So I'm going to do this randomly to each one of these little flowers that I made. And then when I get them done, I'm just going to add hot glue. And I'm going to poke them down and glue them to the box. This is just, I don't know, it adds character and cuteness to it. And then I seen that looked a little bare, so I just added a leaf to that and put that on there. Then when I get this done and my flowers down, I am going to be cutting out another one of these little words, sayings, whatever. It's not a saying, it's just a word. From the scrapbook that I got. I get these scrapbooks at Michael's. I love their paper packs. I grabbed one of those wires that came off of the flower. Okay, and then I'm just going to get my screwdriver and I'm going to twist it around to make a corkscrew type deal. And I'm going to pull that apart then when I get it done, just slightly. And I'm going to put that in the back behind the stem of that smaller pumpkin. And then I'm just going to take hot glue and tack it down. I couldn't bend it around it, but I'm bending it to where I want it. So then when I do that, then I just tack it down. Then at that point, I'm going to take my little Jenga block. And I'm going to hot glue that right in the middle. And then take my paper. And I am going to hot glue that, and I'm going to try my best to get it even, you know. Like I said, I don't measure nothing, I just go for it. But it looks good. It's really cute. My top pumpkin and my brain need a little something, something. So I made a teeny tiny bow, and these are from the Dollar Tree wood cutouts that have the string. I save them all. They make the cutest little bows. And I just put that on the top of the pumpkin when I get it made. And there it is. Now I'm just going to add my jute string to the back and give this something to, if I want to hang it, or you can put this on a tier tray. It's up to you. When I get the jute on, I'm going to take a piece of ribbon and I'm just going to cut them down, and then I'm going to take hot glue and I'm going to put it all over this, and I'm going to smush that ribbon down on there, and this just makes sure that, it gives a little extra so that it doesn't come off. And when I'm done with that, I am done with this project. How stinking cute is that? So now I'm going to be using a couple metal things from the Dollar Tree, and then these little rub-on transfers are supposed to be for glasses or whatever, but you can put them on whatever you want to, you know what I'm saying? So it looks really pretty right there. So all I'm going to do is put this down, and then I am going to take a paint stir stick end is the best thing that I have found. And you just rub and then pull. And if anything comes up, you just slap it back down, rub it again, and go for it. That's cute, but the top is really, really long. I wanted to put a cute little scrappy bow on there. So I'm just going to take and cut little lengths of various ribbons. And when I get the ribbons cut, then before I assemble the bow, I will dovetail the ends. And then I am just adding whatever ribbons I want. And I'm also going to add some raffia. But to dovetail, you just fold it in half and cut from the inside out at an angle. A triangle angle. I'm going kind of fast here, but if I do a bow tutorial, I will surely show you how to do this slower. So I'm just going to put my raffia down. It doesn't matter what order you put these in, but I did want the little glittery leaves on top. So I'm just adding raffia, ribbon, whatever looks good to me. Then I'm going to take one of those little strings and I'm going to hold this, and then I'm going to pull tight and tie a knot. Now this is hard to do with one hand. So I wrap it around because I didn't get it tight enough. And that just helps me tie it tighter. And then I push down harder to make my knot, and I got it. So I'm just going to trim this up and fluff it out. And that's that. But you see all that space? I thought, don't you glue that down, girl. So anyways, I got some more rub-on transfers. These I've had since last year, but they have them this year. I'm just going to randomly cut these apart and just put them wherever I see that I want them. No rhyme or reason. I'm just going to fill up my leaf, okay? And that's all I'm going to do. Now, when I get them where I want them, I am just going to take super glue and hot glue, because hot glue doesn't glue to metal very well. So I use super glue to have that long term. And there you go. That is so stinking cute. Now I am going to take the acorn. And I got this at the Dollar Tree as well. And I was going to take these out, but they are so stinking fat that they wouldn't come back through the hole. So I'm just going to take and pull it all to the back to get those, to get it out of my way. I just need it out of my way. So I'm going to do the same thing. I'm randomly going to put these all over this nut. And then I am going to put my grateful down. This is one of the leather words from Dollar Tree. My camera just went crooked. I don't know what happened. This thing, I wanted to keep these. These are what those little pine cones and, I don't know, potpourri things that smell real good come in. And I saved all those little bags I bought. And I thought it would be the cutest little rustic little bow. So I took the flower apart so it would glue flat. And I am just going to tie this in the middle and put a knot in it. That's going to ensure that this doesn't come, apart. I didn't want to sew it or whatever. So I just knotted it and put it down. It reminds me of Minnie Mouse. I don't know. I don't know. Just looks like Minnie Mouse. But anyway, I want this ribbon. I got it at Hobby Lobby, and it's got nuts or acorns, whatever you want to call it, on it. And I'm just going to loop it over until it looks good to me. And then I'm going to put it in the middle. Okay. I pulled it, so I'm fixing to redo the whole stinking thing because it just doesn't look good to me. So anyways, I'm going to make a figure 8. Okay. And I want it big enough to be bigger than the flower. So then, once I get my figure 8, I'm going to loop my ribbon over and then loop my ribbon over. And you notice all my acorns are pointing down when I loop it this way. So now I'm just going to cut the ribbon in the back. And then I'll take a piece of thread, or I use dental floss, and I'll poke it in the middle, run it around, and tie that off. And there's my little bow. Now that I have it the way I want it, I'm just going to glue that down. And I'm just using hot glue because it'll stick to this plastic thing. And then I just put one petal down, and then you want to make sure that you don't get your petals even, or you won't have a very full flower. And then I glue the other one down, and then I'm just going to take this little fat center and I'm going to pop that down. Now, you don't have to put this glittery down if you don't want to. You can use a button or whatever you want to do. I liked it, so that's why I used it. So I took one of the leaves and I cut it in half. It was what was left over. And I'm just going to tuck it under the petal of the flower. And then that is just too stinking cute. Now, I did use super glue and hot glue to glue the grateful down. And that's it. I loved all these. These are so pretty. Look at these. They are so gorgeous. I cannot pick a favorite, y'all. I just can't. I love them all. I really do. I don't know where I'm going to put them on my walls, but I love them. Thank you so much for watching. If you like this video, please leave me a big thumbs up and consider subscribing to my channel and ring that bell to be notified every time I upload a video. Remember, you are a blessing. Until next time, goodbye.